Hey guys, hope you're all well and looking forward to the open test. I want to clear some things up at the start before we begin. First off, this is a type of video I really wanted to do to try put out there a feedback picture of the new heroes at a highly competent level of play. I put this opinion piece together in conjunction with my experience watching, discussing, learning from and fighting with and against the highest level of players this game has to offer. Casually and in the odd tournament of duels, brawls and dominion. This is for PC of course, which hosts the highest level of play in the game, although I have also played with and against many of the best on console and have 500 hours of console time myself, so you know I am personally aware of the unfortunate drawback that hardware limitations have on the experience there. My motivation to do this is to raise awareness on the stagnation of the meta at the highest level of For Honor in the competitive scene. I believe much of this is due to the character design lacking in some areas. Personally, I would like there to be a larger number of interesting mechanics outside of bashes or traditional gank CC, such as the new traps mechanic. I made a shift towards offense and duel scenarios, higher stamina pools for all heroes as well as higher health pools, whilst also achieving improvement in the Force meta through a larger variety of heroes inclusion, using a top-down design philosophy. I won't be discussing in-depth fundamental or specific solutions to make high-tier play super fun. I do not have the catch-all answer to how that can be achieved. There will be no easy feat. I will however be looking at the new heroes from the perspective outlined thus far, and I think it is important you have that context with which you can frame the content of this video. Unfortunately, due to a lack of playtime, I cannot assess with great accuracy the strength of these heroes and fours, and as such will focus on what we can glean from the playtime I have had. Also, this is not a list format, as I would like statements to be contextualized where they need to be, but I will timestamp the sections for the heroes so that you can just go to one you're interested in if you'd like to do so. With all that being said, let's move on to the pros and cons and an overview of the new heroes. Nuxia wasn't really a character I was personally looking forward to, but like many I was interested in seeing a new mechanic for opening up players. The game is sorely reliant on some very one-dimensional means of dealing with frustratingly boring passive-oriented play in 1v1 scenarios in particular, so something other than a bash should be a breath of fresh air. The trap could be great, but it isn't, but more on that later. Nuxia does have some nice things going for her however. Her deflect does a massive 40 damage for starters, was leading into a chain. Her lights give little away in terms of animation cues, and there is also access to omnidirectional 400 ms lights in the second and third part of the chain, which additionally can be delayed nicely. Her heavies deal some decent damage, and combined with the threat of the lights, offer a safer than usual heavy if the opponent is overly concerned about parrying on incorrect timing. Additionally, heavies can be soft feinted into traps, which will punish an opponent who is blocking statically or parrying a lane. She has good chains and flow between her heavies and lights, and a successful trap acts as a chain starter, resulting in being able to continue attacking. She offers decent pressure based off of attack speed from neutral and has one of the better reflex guards as opposed to Shinobi or Gladiator. Her side dodge attack, whilst mediocre and serving as a light parry, may at least allow some guaranteed punishes on moves such as Gladiator's own, although I've yet to test that. In terms of cons, there are some glaring issues. Her zone feels useless. I am not sure what context the zone is intended to be taken advantage of within. You can hard feint it and also soft feint it into a trap. It is also very slow. This means her zone offers no pressure whatsoever due to the issue with the trap and cannot be used as an option select, which I'll show you guys with some clips now. The major issue with traps is that they are entirely reactable, absurdly so. You can counter and punish traps in a multitude of ways responding to the trap indicator, and even before it. As you can see with Warlord, you can guard break on reaction for confirmed punish, you can headbutt on reaction, you can superior light same side on light parry timing, you can parry attempt and let the heavy go on light parry timing, and additionally zone option select on light parry timing. If you stay static guarding or attempt to parry or dodge late, then it will connect. You can also just dodge it if you do it again on early timing. If you fancy some BM, you can emote to avoid it too. Essentially, this means there are a plethora of options in response to the threat of Nuxia using trap, including entirely reactable punishes like a simple guard break. This leaves Nuxia, once people are used to dealing with the traps, as a hero based predominantly around her lights and chain, and that's thoroughly uninteresting. Big JJ is the hero I intend on playing to death. I hope to get him to rep 60 to have my first max rep hero. I love the hero's appearance and design in theory. He has some serious drawbacks in 1v1 scenarios, and this is because of his lack of pressure from neutral. He has no opener. You may immediately think of his soft feinted dash forward heavy, which can be feinted into the shin kick, guaranteeing a light, but I can assure you this does not act as an opener in execution. It is quite slow on startup phase with the dash heavy, and additionally the shin kick can be dodged alongside dodging the dash forward heavy with just one timing. The rest of his kit is not designed with 1v1 in mind, which I would be okay with if he had even a little neutral pressure. It would be nice for every hero to offer something in ones rather than be incredibly boring to play against, like Raider, Shigoki and others who offer nothing but longing stares into your eyes hoping you will let a heavy go for the parry. From what I've played of him so far in 4v4, his hitboxes leave something to be desired and feel mediocre. They are useful, don't get me wrong. They are just not quite what you'd expect. At times you will hit someone that doesn't appear to be in danger of being hit, at others his weapon will go through without phasing any opponents. Or range will seem to be not quite enough or where it should be. In team modes, however, I expect him to do well in good hands. He won't be a top pick, nor will he be a bad one. Speaking of top anything, his Sifu stance is a top tier defensive tool, even whilst being vulnerable to guard break. The stamina recovery on Sifu stance is massive, and combined with overall low recovery on a number of moves in his kit, he can play in a similar way to Nobushi dancing around a fight even whilst not as effective as her. The two primary advantages Sifu stance has over hidden stances in the stamina regeneration and in its early iframes. He can leave his decision to Sifu stance an opponent later than a Nobushi can decide the hidden stance. This allows the player to make a decision later. For example, you can react to Warlord's Headbutt, Konk's Bash, Kenz's Pommel Strike. Additionally, JJ can cancel dodge and some attack recovery concurrently with heavies with Sifu, which is very useful. The downsides of Sifu stance come with its offensive potential, or lack thereof really. His only dedicated option from Sifu stance is a zone coming from one side only. This makes Nobushi's offensive options from hidden stance look really good in comparison. That's it, that's the extent of Sifu stance. It's fun, it's a cool idea, but I would like to see more dedicated options, even just a light from any direction. His dash heavy iframes appear to occur in the middle of the dash, which may be useful for fours, I'm not really sure yet, but I am skeptical on that. In a 1v1 scenario, you won't be using dash heavy at all once people are accustomed to it due to the soft feint's lack of pressure on the opponent. JJ's chains are any combination of light heavy, with heavy finishers being unblockable, which is nice. They do feel a tad short, and a 3 attack chain of any combination of lights or heavies would be awesome. I am a fan of giving all heroes a minimum of 3 attacks in chain, however, so make of this what you will. The big lad has a dodge roll that is surprisingly good. It's quick and carries the hero quite a distance. Overall, he has the nice weighty feel of a heavy hero, but without the compensation to make up for this in other areas with his toolkit. Now on to the two heroes you guys already have seen extensively on videos across YouTube. Because there's already quite a lot of eyes having seen them already, I'm going to focus on what's changed since then with the most obvious pros and cons, and maybe look at what's substantial. Having played Shaolin, I still have a lot of fun with him despite some quite bizarre nerfs. His animation, theme and design are very good. The best of all four in my opinion. It's a pity his toolkit does not reflect this. When I had previously played Shaolin, he had good flow. Felt a little underwhelming with his unblockable having no pressure as a result of a very easy counter to move being one dodge. But overall was really enjoyable to play in, with some changes to improve his ability to maintain offense, a reason to attempt sweep after kick, added pressure to the unblockable and chaining after dodge attacks. I could see him being a viable pick in competitive fours and duels. You probably just want to hear about the nerfs though that I encountered, so I'm going to outline them. Massive stamina drain on maintaining your key stance. Can no longer dodge out of key stance. No stun on the top light attack out of key stance. Undodgeable property removed from neutral side dash heavies. A retreating light attack was also removed. I don't recall the name of it at this moment. It is strange for a hero that with some improvements to his kit could have been competitively viable at top level to get the reverse treatment. I really don't understand the reasoning behind it. In terms of pros, he still has a nice chain of light heavy until you run out of stamina. You can also finish the chain with heavy heavy or light light, and you have various means of entering key stands easily. He's a 400 millisecond top light from neutral that is very good, and it's his best tool from neutral. His lights and chain are also 400 ms. His kick from key stance is also 400 ms and guarantees a light. I don't feel the need to go into this character any further. I believe what I just outlined is enough for you guys to garner what you will. The character does feel gutted to me, so let's take a look at Tiandi now. Of the 4 new heroes, Tiandi is the most well designed. He may see competitive play in 1s and 4s. I'm unsure on 2s, but I doubt he will there due to Kensei and Nobushi's dominance. Tiandi's strength lies in his dodge attacks. Their defensive potential, the iframes in the heavy dodge attack, and the options open from starting into one. He has some nice soft feints with his dash lights and a decent but not overwhelming bash with his palm strike, as well as a 400 ms light in the second part of his chains. In terms of downsides, the hero's bash does feel a little underwhelming. Its range and tracking is poor and it can be punished more easily when it's used in chain, with a more generous dodge timing than from neutral, resulting in a free guard break punish. In terms of changes to the hero, he has had an overall damage nerf, leaving him feeling a little weak on the damage side of things, and his superior light on his dash light has increased startup time, making it harder to pull off. Additionally, he's very punishing OOS game, which was a somewhat obnoxious 50-50 of dash light or dash heavy, with the dash light confirming a bash into another light has been removed, which then resulted in the palm strike and chain being easier to dodge and punish. Overall, the hero doesn't have many substantial weaknesses and is the most balanced of the 4 heroes, albeit with the caveat of being the most cautiously designed in terms of risk taken with new mechanics. This makes his playstyle the least interesting in my opinion, despite his overall solid design. That about sums up my opinion on the new heroes of the Wulin faction in their current state. Despite the contention you've seen here today, I'm still looking forward to getting my hands on the heroes some more and seeing how the new factions affect the game and especially the competitive scene. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you have any thoughts, I would love to see them in the comments. I may not reply to all, but I always read every single one. And with that guys, I hope you have a good one.
It was the best of times, it was the first